Hello, welcome to the channel. This video is about direct speech and reported speech. Let's get started. Last video, we introduced direct speech and reported speech. And this time, we further elaborate direct speech, how to use it in your writing. Let's take a look. Using direct speech in writing. What is the purpose of using direct speech? Direct speech gives the exact wordings that people use to say something. Example, if I say we are going to watch a film in the cinema, then if I want to code these wordings, what should we do? When we write direct speech in a text and dialogues, conversations for simple, in narratives writing, for example, we need to use quotation mark. This is a single quotation marks. Punctuations like question mark, exclamation mark, full stop, or even comma are very important when we are using direct speech. Let's take a look. Exclamation mark, an exclamation mark, an exclamation mark for exclamation, obviously. Example, I shouted. You have to have a comma before you use this color red. And you are crazy, comma, and then start the open quotation mark and close quotation mark, and the exclamation mark putting before the close quotation mark. And then what about question mark? Question marks for question. I ask her. Okay, so ask. Also color red. Are you serious? Now, remind you guys, one thing is, these direct speech starting with a capital letter, even as a question, is still having a capital letter as well. And the question marks we're putting in front of the closing quotation mark. Then what about a comma? What time should we use a comma in a direct speech? Let's take a look. A comma is for a statement. For example, looks aren't everything, you know. This direct speech actually has been finished. It's a complete sentence. However, we will not put a full stop right here. Instead, we will use a comma. So open quotation mark, and the comma will be putting in front of the closing quotation mark. And she told me, full stop. Then what time should we use a full stop? Let's take a look. A full stop only at the very end of a sentence. We mean the finish of the direct speech. For example, she told me, comma, and the direct speech's looks aren't everything. You see, we're putting this sentence at the end of the sentence, and by the end we have a full stop. But again, the punctuation full stop should putting in front of and closing quotation mark. And the next thing we have to care about is the verb positions. In a direct speech, the verb position could be very confusing. And that is a little things that we have to care about. Let's take a look, what are they? We usually put the verb before or after the direct speech. If we put the verb before the direct speech, we need to put a comma after it. For example, if the direct speech is putting at the end of the whole sentence, so a comma will be putting after the verb. Said, like this. Okay, and then open quotation mark, close quotation mark, and the full stop is putting at the end, because the whole sentence has finished. However, if the direct speech is actually split up into two parts, and the verb is putting in the middle, so how to arrange it? Example, please don't do that. Okay, the word please, open quotation mark, close quotation mark, and a comma. And then Martin said, again, comma. Alright, then we start with the second part of the direct speech. Open quotation mark, close quotation mark, don't do that, and then full stop. So you can see the arrangement of the direct speech that splitting up into two parts will be a little bit technical. However, if you follow the rules, it will be fine. And the same part, if we put the direct speech at the end of the sentence, it will be looking like this. Okay, so either way, either you putting the direct speech at the beginning, or you put the direct speech at the end, or even you split it up into two parts, the arrangement will be different. Other than the word told, tell, say, and said, there are some other verbs that we could use to provide information about the meaning of the speakers. Let's take a look. What words are they? Usual verbs for direct speech. We use the verbs say or tell to introduce direct speech, but some other verb could function similarly, but they could provide more information about how and why. So all these are listed here. There are some areas that we have to be cautioned, and there's some hints that you can use when you are writing direct speech. Let's take a look. Hints and cautions. When people are using direct speech in their writing, there's something that we have to be aware of. Now, American English hints number one, double quotation marks will be used instead of single quotation marks. And also, in this example, many exercises we have used will be using in present tense on purpose. It's also very common when we are reading newspaper articles too, but for narrative writing, that isn't that so common. And different verbs have different meanings. You have to make sure checking the dictionary for the meaning and use it accurately, because using a verb incorrectly could mean something very different to the readers. Very nice. That's all for today. Like this video and subscribe to our channel. See you next time. Goodbye.